Hey Seahawks Nation! Are you ready for one of the hottest videos of the year? Because today we're diving into moves that could completely change the course of the Seattle Seahawks this season. I know the fan base is anxious, nervous, and at the same time hopeful, because losing key pieces shakes any franchise. But the way the front office and the new coaching staff are responding to these changes might surprise even the biggest skeptics. Just imagine seeing the offense totally redesigned, the defense running with a new engine, and unexpected names hitting the field right out of the gate against the 49ers. That's exactly what we're getting into right now. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because what I've got today is can't miss. The first thing we need to face head-on is the crazy amount of turnover Seattle went through heading into 2025. Geno Smith is gone. DK Metcalf, an icon and offensive cornerstone, said goodbye too. Tyler Lockett, one of the most reliable receivers in the entire league, no longer wears the blue and green. And it wasn't just them. In total, 6 starters walked away. For any franchise, that would be a shock to the system, almost like resetting the entire foundation. But in Seattle, the impact hits harder because those guys weren't just players, they were symbols, leaders who carried the team's identity. And that's where the big question that won't leave fans' minds comes in. Can this team really reinvent itself that fast? Because while the pain of losing stars is real, there's also a clear sense of renewal. Clint Kubiak has taken over the offense, and everything points to his system fitting exactly what Mike Macdonald wants to build: a dynamic attack, full of motion, smart blocking, and a tempo that can catch defenses off guard. Preseason already showed glimpses of how dangerous this scheme can be. Sure, it's just 2 games, but the way the ball moved on the ground, the reads from Sam Darnold, the new QB, and the overall flow made it clear this isn't just about swapping names, it's about shifting the mindset. And that could be the difference between being just another team and being a legit playoff contender. And if the offense brings excitement, the defense is flat out inspiring confidence. I'd even say there's no room for doubt there. Ernest Jones is the kind of linebacker who transforms the entire unit, and pairing him with Tyrese Knight is like having 2 control towers in the middle of the field. That duo has everything to dominate. Add in DeMarcus Lawrence stepping in for Draymond Jones on the defensive line, and it's like trading a modern car for a classic that runs on pure power and tradition. This move elevated the defense's ceiling. Lawrence may not be in his prime anymore, but his experience, strength, and field vision bring exactly what Seattle needs. As one analyst put it recently, if this defense already looked like it was trending upward, now it could become one of the most feared in the NFL. Of course, it's not all sunshine. Uchenna Nwosu is a tricky case. When he's healthy, he's as impactful as any edge rusher on the roster. The issue is just that, staying healthy. Over the past 2 years, he's missed 22 games. That's a huge number. And in the NFL, talent means nothing if your body doesn't hold up. That's why expectations around him are cautious. Fans think, if he can string together a stretch of games without setbacks, the Seahawks become a serious threat. But until then, there's always that pit in your stomach, that doubt about whether the next snap might sideline him for weeks. On offense, the O-line deserves some spotlight. Anthony Bradford showed clear improvement in the preseason, enough for people to say he looks ready. But here's the truth, preseason is one world, the regular season is a completely different beast. Facing second and third stringers is not the same as going up against Nick Bosa breathing down your neck every snap. That Week 1 clash with the Niners will be a real trial by fire for him. And here's the catch, Seattle doesn't have a proven backup for that spot. If Bradford slips, the ripple effects could last way beyond 1 game. It's almost like the line's stability rests on the shoulders of a guy still proving himself. And speaking of the ground game, Kenneth Walker's situation stands out. I'm not saying a rough game against the Niners would seal his fate in Seattle, but the truth is he needs to show consistency. The blocking scheme looks sharper, the reads are cleaner, and lanes are opening up. But for that to work, Walker's got to hit the hole hard, no hesitation. Any hesitation and Zach Charbonnet or even George Holani could get more carries. In a more extreme scenario, if Walker can't take off, he could even become trade bait down the road. On the flip side, if he explodes right away, he could be the engine that drives Seattle back into the postseason. That's the razor's edge between doubt and hope. And before we keep rolling, let me drop that reminder that helps this channel grow. If you're into this kind of insider content packed with analysis and behind-the-scenes talk, smash that like button and subscribe, because there's plenty more coming your way. If you've made it this far, you're a real one, a true 12. So let's show the power of Seahawks Nation and keep building this community stronger every day. Now, back to the battlefield. The first injury report of the season brought some interesting updates. Tyrese Knight, who scared fans with a knee issue and another medical concern during camp, didn't show up on the list of 5 injured players. Huge relief! Rookie wideout Torrey Horton, who hurt his ankle, was also a full participant in practice. That means both should be good to go against the Niners on Sunday. Uchenna Nwosu, like I mentioned before, is still a question mark, listed as limited. That's one to watch. Beyond them, Jake Bobo, Derek Young, and Cody White all made the list with their own nagging problems. And what does this tell us? That Seattle heads into the season with some key weapons available, but still surrounded by question marks about durability. And that, my friend, can decide not just a single game, but an entire season. And if the present is already keeping fans on edge, the future is starting to creep into the picture too. Even with the season just beginning, some folks in Seattle are already eyeing the 2026 draft. One name popping up is Ruben Bain Jr., the pass rusher out of Miami. In a recent mock draft, he was slotted to Seattle in the first round. And honestly, comparisons to Ed Oliver and Jared Verse aren't off base. Bain's got the strength, burst, and versatility to line up in multiple spots. He'd be an investment to lock down this defense for years, giving opponents headaches for a long time. Sure, it's still just speculation, but the fact that talk like this is happening already shows how far the front office is looking ahead. So here's where Seattle stands heading into 2025, major changes all around. Geno, DK, and Lockett leaving open the door for a new generation. The offense, under Clint Kubiak, promises to be different, maybe even more efficient. The defense, with Lawrence, Jones, and Knight, has the tools to be one of the best in the league. But the questions are there too. Nwosu's health, Bradford's ability to hold up against elite rushers, Walker's pressure to lead the ground game. And that's all part of what it means to be a Seahawks fan, living at full throttle, right on the line between glory and uncertainty. And now I want to hear from you, 12s. What's hitting you the hardest right now? The offensive transformation, the defensive power, or the doubt still hanging over some key players? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because here the voice of Seahawks Nation always counts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because that helps the channel a ton and gets this content to even more 12s around the world. Thanks for sticking with me, Seahawks Nation, and as always, go Hawks!